Okay guys, so here are my 3 empanadas. I want you to take a look. In Peru, we sprinkle them with powdered sugar. So this is my Peruvian one where I sprinkle powdered sugar, and I'm gonna take a bite of this empanada. Of course, they're smaller. You can make them bigger if you want to, but I would love for you to see it. Look at it. We also sprinkle a little bit of lime juice on it. Meaty, the egg gives another tang, the sweetness, it matches all the raisins. Delicious. I want you to see the Mexican one. This one I sprinkle with cayenne pepper just to make it a little spicy. I want you to take a look at it inside. Ooh, look at that empanada. All the Mexican flavors in here. I like to dip it in some special red sauce. It could be Valentina sauce. It could be taco sauce. It could be any sauce that you love. That's also great. And then I'm gonna show you the spinach one. Now this little stinker opened in the oven, which is fine. It just means it was gordita, overly stuffed, which is fine with me. So I want you to see how flaky and just the cheese melts. Smells so good. What a meal. I hope you make this. You can make it bigger size, or you can make 2 per person, or 3 or 4. Whatever you want. Vegetarian or meat full of flavor. The flakiness of the dough is amazing. Bye guys, hope you make it. Okay, so let's start first with the ingredients that are at the base for every empanada you want to make. On a very hot pan, you're going to put some oil on the bottom. Any vegetable oil is fine. Okay, wait for it to be really, really hot, which is what you want. And then I have a whole big onion chopped. Onion is a very important part of every empanada. It's not a sofrito. It's really, really, really just, you have to see those pieces of onion that is gonna add texture to your empanada. So I'm gonna put them in here. You're gonna hear them. You see that? You're gonna hear them go. I want you to see. Yeah. So this part you have to wait until the onion starts sweating. Don't salt it yet. Just wait a few minutes until it's kind of cooked already, and then you add the salt. So I am going to stir this. Here's where I'm gonna add my meat. Now this is ground beef. Some cultures put a little bit of chorizo. Some other ones will put just ground beef. In Peru, we even chop sirloin, and it's like the small little pieces of delicious chopped sirloin that goes in here. But ground beef is what we find in America easier, so here we go. Not that you cannot find sirloin, but at least it's not as expensive. These are the ones that you kind of eat at restaurants as well. So this is the meat. I'm going to brown my meat or cook my meat. It doesn't have to be super brown either. All you gotta do is make sure you break all of your meat, and you're gonna cook it. I'm gonna let you see kind of how this all works together. And after this is where the cultures split. Here's where you can make it a Mexican empanada, you can make it a South American empanada, Argentinian empanada. It all depends on what you add after this step. Okay guys, so I wanted you to know that you could use any onion that you want. It could be red, Vidalia, white, yellow. It really does not matter. I like the red better. It has a little more of a bite to it. It withholds the heat a little better, so that's what I use it. Also, the ground beef can be any ground beef that you want. At 80-20 like burger, it could be 90-10, it doesn't really matter. Some people also put pork in here, some other people put chorizo in there. It's up to your taste. All right, so I took out some of the meat because I'm gonna show you 2 different kinds of empanadas. A lot of Americans love that taste of Mexican food. That's what you're used to. Your palates are used to that cumin, tomato, oregano feel. So I'm gonna make this Mexican style. Okay, so now you're going to get some tomato paste, and I'm just gonna get, for this 1/2 pound of meat that I have, I'm gonna put probably just 1 tablespoon of tomato paste in my pan, and I'm going to give it a twirl because this is what's going to give it that creaminess that you want in an empanada. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is all together. Depends on how juicy your meat is. You will need maybe broth or not, but it really depends on how juicy your meat has become. I have, like I was saying, the tomato paste together with my meat, right? Well, everything gets super excited in my pan. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of oregano, very important. I'm also going to add a whole tablespoon of paprika, which is, as you know, a staple also in our cuisine. I am going to add a teaspoon of cumin or cumin. I usually measure teaspoon in the bottom of my hand. I kind of curl like this. This is kind of a teaspoon. All right, so you can use just a teaspoon, will be fine. I'm going to stir, and this is gonna start smelling like heaven. If you can tell, my meat is kind of sticking a little bit, so I'm gonna use a little bit of broth, just enough to make it juicy again. All right, so, because this empanadas cannot be too dry and cannot be a soup either. So you gotta have to find that happy medium. I have not added any salt yet because I'm waiting for that at the very end. So here I go with my pepper, good fresh cracked pepper. Then here I'm gonna go with my salt, which is right here. And now, yeah, there's my salt. I am gonna add some cilantro, and I have about a good handful of cilantro, chopped cilantro in here. It goes. And something that my family loves is a chipotle flavor. So get a can of chipotle and just scoop out either a pepper or a little bit of that juice. If you can handle the heat of the chipotle, this will be great as well. So just enough that you know how much your family can handle. All right, so this is the Mexican style, like I was saying, empanadas. I'm gonna show you later how to stuff this. This has to cool. Okay, you cannot just put this in the little dough pockets. You can't do that. You have to wait for it to cool. So let me give it a taste. I know I have to kind of let it cook a little bit because all my spices need to get together with the meat and form that perfect feeling that you want in an empanada. A juicy, juicy empanada. That's very, very important as well. All right, so let me give it a taste here. I don't want to burn myself. I can taste the cumin, the cilantro, the pepper. This is really, really delicious. All right, so I'm gonna put this in a bowl, let it cool, and I'm gonna show you the other kind of empanada, which is the South American flair. All right, guys, so empanada number 2, the Peruvian style, the ones that I grew up eating, the ones that have a little more of a South American taste. Now, the problem with making these recipes that are South American or very, very specific for a country is that sometimes the ingredients are hard to find. Peru is well known for their Aji Amarillo, which is a yellow pepper. I buy this on Amazon. This is the yellow pepper that Peruvians use everywhere, but you cannot find it in the supermarket. So these are ingredients that are particular to the region, particular to the culture, that you're gonna have to invest if that's the flavor that you want. Mexican ingredients you can find in America easily, which is why it's better to make that one maybe. But this is the authentic Peruvian empanada, which I absolutely love. So I'm gonna put some ají, which is like this yellow paste. It's not spicy, although you can buy it spicy as well, but this one particularly is not too spicy. I'm gonna move it here. It's a pepper. It's a yellow pepper that only grows, or we produce it in Peru a lot more. All right, Peruvians do not use that tomato paste. We use paprika to give it that red color. So I'm gonna put another hefty tablespoon of paprika in here to give it that red color. Again, because I need to make this a little juicier than it becomes, so I'm gonna put a little bit of broth, not too much, just a little bit, to make it saucy. All right, so now to this, I'm gonna add some cumin for sure. I think we all share our love for cumin, which is half a teaspoon actually of cumin to this one. I'm not gonna add anything really else. So it's this red concoction with a little more broth because I need it to be a little juicier. And Another thing that Americans might be like, oh my God, I don't want that, but it's really, really good. Peruvians are well known for the mixture of sweet, salty, savory, umami kind of flavor in their cuisine. So we put raisins in ours. And raisin just gives it that little kick of sweetness that you need in every bite. So I just put a handful of raisins. If you don't have raisins, you can have craisins. It doesn't matter. It just needs that little sweet punch. To this, I'm gonna add again pepper, salt. My eyes are not looking at where my salt is. Here we go. Salt and just a pinch of oregano. Just like a little pinch, like 1/8 of a teaspoon of oregano, just to give it that other layer of flavor that goes in here. So now, my raisins are gonna get plumpier. This recipe also has Kalamata olives, so you put an olive inside of every pocket of goodness. It's a heaven in a pocket. The meat, the raisins, the olives, so you see all the vinegar, the sweet, the salty, like I said, the umami flavor that you want, and a piece of egg. And every empanada, most empanadas have egg inside. So let me give this another taste. Make sure all my flavors are married together in this beautiful quarantine style marriage. Let me see. My mom will be so proud. Anyway, here it is. I'm gonna save this to the side and I'm gonna make the spinach one. All right, so here are the onions right here. I am gonna add my chopped spinach, which it's a bag. It's okay, it can be a bag, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you wanna use fresh, you can of course use fresh spinach, but if not, just regular spinach is perfectly fine. All right, to this, I am gonna add kind of a secret ingredient, which is a little bit of goat cheese. Goat cheese is amazing with spinach empanadas, and that's the way my mom used to make them. So that's what I'm gonna put on mine. So I'm gonna use one of these amazing little pieces of little tubs of goat cheese, and I'm gonna put about 2 good tablespoons of goat cheese, and I'm gonna wait for it to melt just a little bit so that it can create some sort of a saucy goodness in my pan. I want you to take a look how that goat cheese is gonna give it that twang, you know, that little acidity that every empanada absolutely needs. All right, so my seasonings, oh, this could hold even a little more of my goat cheese. Let me put a little more, another tablespoon of goat cheese in here. Let me see. All right, so the garlic, the goat cheese, the onions, everything is going to get super excited. All right, so now here I am going to add, what do I add for seasoning? Something that is very important, of course. I'm gonna put some salt, and I'm looking for my other ingredient that is very important, I don't see here. I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of just water to make this a little more saucy, like you need to have for an empanada. I want you to take a look at it. And now I'm going to put just a little bit of nutmeg. Nutmeg and spinach, they make the perfect marriage. So here I go, I'm gonna just grate, not too much because it can turn bitter. You don't want that much. It's just a little scrape, you can see it, and then that's good enough. That's all you need of nutmeg. I'm kind of leaning forward because then you can see only my head, my chopped head. All right, so to this, I'm gonna turn off my pan, turn it off completely, because I am going to put some mozzarella cheese, but I don't need the mozzarella to melt completely. I need it in little pockets, okay? So I'm gonna put about maybe 3/4 cup to a cup of mozzarella for a bag of spinach. Okay, so the mozzarella is gonna make it just gooey. And every bite is gonna have some cheese, some goat cheese. You're gonna have the, look at it, it's turning already. All right, so this gets out, but first I need to give it a try. Never cook without tasting your food, guys. You really cannot you have to know what does your cooking needs, right? Before you put it on the table, before you make any promises, you have to taste. All right, so before I get burned again, need some salt. It's a little bit of salt. But see, that goat cheese gave it that special flavor that it needed. That little bit of water also made my filling a lot better. All right, so I'm gonna put it in a plate. Let's talk about the dough. I'm gonna make a box of dough, so don't worry, it's gonna be super easy. Okay, so for the other important part of your recipe is the dough. You can find dough recipes online, the ones that say you have to use lard and flour and eggs. But there's something a lot more simpler, because this is a step that you have to find a good dough, but at the same time you don't want to waste too much time doing that. And this is my favorite dough. It's the Betty Crocker pie crust. You can use this. You can use and make the dough just like you see me. I already made the dough. I'm going to show you how to make a disc. But then you can also use biscuit. If you just extend a biscuit, feel it and fold it, that is also a great way to have your empanadas. This is a flaky crust. Some empanadas are deep fried. Some empanadas are baked, depending on the country. Some empanadas are pinch on the top. Some empanadas are pinch on the side. Every country has its trick. But at the same time, these are baked empanadas, which this will be perfect for what you need. Like I said, you can use a biscuit also, roll it out, fill it in. It's more of a bready crust. This will be a little more flaky, which is the kind of crust that I like. So I'm gonna roll it. I cut my dough in 4 parts, just like you normally see me do. And I'm gonna just extend it. It's just like if you were making pie dough. So in this kind of empanadas, you don't want a very thick one, you don't want a very thin one. You just want the perfect thickness for your empanada. Okay, I think mine is perfectly fine. So now how do I cut it? It's kind of hard to find a perfect round, but I found this. This is what I use, a container, one of the plastic containers. All I do is I dip it a little bit on my, let me push a little bit on the flour, and then I'm going to cut one circle out. And that is a good circle size empanada. You see it's a thin crust, not too thin, not too thick. Perfect for what I need. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to make one before I cut, because I'm gonna move on to each one of the fillings. So here's your empanada dough. I'm gonna use first the spinach. So I'm gonna grab a spinach filling right here in the middle. Look at that, it's already cold and dry, right? And now I'm gonna put a piece of that goat cheese, just to give it that creaminess that it needs. Also, my mom used to put Parmesan cheese on top of it. So just a little sprinkle of Parm if you want. That gives it an extra little texture when you fold. So now, the folding, you're gonna push with your fingers a little bit, and then you're going to press on the sides. Press, 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 press. And here is the part that if you have never done empanadas, you can just pinch it with your fork, it's fine. Or you can do the roll, the press and roll, press and roll, press and roll, roll and press will be the other way around. Roll and press, 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 roll and press until the end. And I want to show you, hold on, I have some of the filling on the outside. Ends up looking like that. You see, it's really cute. It takes some practice for that. You can also push them with a fork. It's perfectly fine. And you're gonna put them in a pan. You don't need any butter on the top if you don't want to. It's fine. You're gonna put them like this. So I'm gonna make another one with the other filling. So let me cut another one. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna cut another one right here. Okay, so now that was the spinach filling. So now here I go. I'm gonna make one with the Mexican filling. All right, so the same goes. I kind of like to extend the ends just a little bit. So here I go, here's my filling. So I'm going to give it a little turn because it's already cold, which is what you want. All right, I see the adobo in there, the all my spices. Here you go. In Mexico, they also put a piece of egg inside. And that is your preference, a piece of hard-boiled egg. I'm gonna put one right here. And that gives it a different kind of texture. I mean, when you bite, you don't want always the same kind of, you know, dough and meat. So that gives it another layer of flavor and of texture. Same thing, I'm gonna press the ends. You see, I'm gonna show you, you're gonna just press. This is a little fat little empanada. And now, to make the fold, you just fold. I have to do it inwards, fold and press. You press and you fold, you press and you fold, press and 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 fold, again and again until you end up with something like this. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be sealed. Now, you can mark them. If you make maybe a little slit on the ones that you make with only meat or the ones you're gonna make with different kinds, you can mark them. I remember my mom used to put like an egg, you know, mark on top, like with a brush, like the E for, well, not E, H for huevo, or if it was, you know, pollo, it was chicken with a P on it. So that's another way. So that, and then the last one I'm gonna make is the one from Peru, because my Peruvian one has extra little things in. So let me extend my dough just a little bit so I can get another one in here. Yeah, maybe I can get one more. Maybe, we'll see. All right, so my Peruvian one has extra stuff inside. So Peruvians like different kinds of flavor. So here I am gonna have my Peruvian filling, right? And remember, it has all my Peruvian spices, and then it has also raisins, right? So we put a little bit of meat inside. Yeah, make sure you get some raisins in there. They also have a piece of egg. So we're gonna put a piece of egg in there, and they have something else. They have a Kalamata olive, which, Isabella, would you give me the Kalamata olives real quick, please? So they're in my refrigerator. But Kalamata olives give that acidity that it needs. Peruvian foods are full of flavor. In your mouth, you have every single different kind of flavor. The sour, the sweet, the acidity, the umami, like I was saying before. These are Kalamata olives. Thank you. And of course, one will be so big for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a piece. And I know some of my friends do not like olives. We adore olives. In Peru, people eat olives for breakfast in bread. We eat them, we make a rice with the liquid of the olives. It's like a purple, delicious rice. So this piece of olive is gonna go in my empanada as well. Okay, so it goes a piece of olive, the piece of egg, and now I'm gonna close this baby up. Look at it. This is gonna be mine, for sure. This is gonna be my empanada. So I'm gonna press, well, at this size, I'm gonna eat a couple or three. Is a couple three? So here we go. Pinch and fold, pinch and fold, pinch and fold, pinch and fold, pinch and fold. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be sealed. You see, it doesn't have to be pretty, but it has to be sealed. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna show you when I take them out how amazingly delicious they are. I'm gonna break one, I'm gonna savor one, and hopefully you can make any of these three. I think they're fantastic. I'm gonna show you something else we do on the Peruvian one that's gonna blow your socks off if you ever make it, because like I said, we have the acidity and the sugary, and that's coming at the end.